What is going on, guys? Welcome back to Podcast 129. My name is Hunter Waldrop. To my right is Mr. Jake Stinchcomb, the one and only, born and raised Houston, Georgia, Jake Stinchcomb. And right below us is our special guest, Nicholas Pachia, residing from somewhere in the Northeast. Nick, thank you for joining us today, buddy.
Thanks for having me. I'm from Houston, Georgia, too. So just so we have the facts straight. But yeah, thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah, back like we never left. I feel like we just filmed. What was the last college football episode we filmed, Hunter? The national championship preview, maybe, or the playoff preview?
Playoff, yeah.
What, probably 3 months now, getting close to 4. So, in the midst of March and all the things that come in March, we had a really good sports week this week. Yeah, the World Baseball Classic, NFL free agency going on. The Hawks are the best team in the world right now. I mean, every life's good with sports. Just had a great players ending. Sports are heating up, and I'm glad that we get this excitement during the football offseason because it can get very, very quiet and devastating during the football offseason. So now that we have a bracket, I'm excited for the next month.
Yeah, next month's going to be great. Got the Masters coming up, NBA playoffs for you two. I know y'all are big NBA guys, and I'm sure I'll dabble in with just to keep up with y'all's chat. NHL playoffs coming up soon. Some horse racing. I'm a big horse racing Triple Crown guy, big journalism guy. All the golf majors this summer, so we're getting into that time of year. But we're here to talk about some college hoops, and let's not waste any more time and hop right on into it. All right, so we're just going to go through these little categories that I made and just briefly hit on teams that came to our minds. Not going to talk about every team on the screen. And then at the end, we'll actually go through region by region and fill out our brackets. So here we go. Jake, I'll start with you first because I know recently over the past few weeks, you've really been getting in to the college hoops. Like I think 2 nights ago, I got a text on my phone that says, hoops are so back. So I know you've been locked in. Which one of these heavy hitters, we got the 4-1 seeds and UConn being the number 1-2 seed in here, which one of these teams sticks out to you the most? Like obviously you got Cam Boozer at Duke, probably going to be player of the year. Michigan only lost 2 games in the regular season, one being the Duke. Florida just goes on a tear through February and March. Arizona from start to finish has just been phenomenal. And then you got Danny Hurley and UConn coming back to the top this year. So which one of these teams really sticks out to you and why?
So I was thinking about this when, just thinking about getting ready for the episode. I knew we'd talk about these top 4 teams at least. I didn't think UConn would be up here, but they are, so that's good. So the 5, I guess, tier 1 teams, and I was thinking what's my answer going to be? Because I knew this would be a question or a topic we talk about, and I went back and forth. But and to preface all of this, by no means are any. I'll say this for all 3 of us. Everybody who's listening, we're not going to have any big listening ship, I guess, but we're all just degenerates. We love college basketball. We love talking about it together. So we put this product together so we can show our friends. So by no means do I know all the X's and O's and every player on the rosters and all that. But with all that being said, for me, it's Arizona. Reason for that is best team in the best league, the deepest league. Me personally, they had to play all year. The Houstons, the Texas Techs, the Iowa States. Who else in the big? I mean, there's so many teams in the Big 12. I think they're the deepest league. I think it's the best league. And they ran through the tournament. They didn't get really phased at all. They're very deep. They play good defense. They check every box. They play good defense. They have guys that can shoot. They rebound. They play defense across the board. And at some point, I think Tommy Lloyd's just got to get it done. I feel like I've been a big Arizona guy for a majority of my life when it comes to March. They've just always been a team that I like to pick on the bracket. And I think that that's my answer for you. That's what I think. I think big Tommy Lloyd guy.
Nicholas?
Yeah, I'm going to reluctantly take Florida. I've been a little bit back and forth on this, but I think we kind of saw it with them last year too, where they got super hot down the stretch. Obviously, a loss yesterday in the SEC tournament, but you kind of look at their record compared to some of these other like top dogs, and they're all 32-2, 31-2, or whatever. Florida obviously picked up a couple losses earlier in the season during some of those kind of holiday tournaments, where I think we've seen that time and time again. Where obviously those games early in the season are super fun, and they're going to count on your record, but at the same time, teams really haven't developed their identity that early on in the season, and I think Florida's played its best basketball kind of at the right time down the stretch. Obviously, you have Xavier Lee, who's been a huge pickup for them. Some continuity with like Thomas Hawk and those sort of guys, and a number of the guys on the team have been there before. Obviously, haven't won the national championship last year. Comfortable coming from behind, particularly last year's team, and so I think there's a little bit of like we've been there before kind of mentality. I do think they're kind of in a tough draw, potentially facing Houston maybe in a possible Elite Eight matchup. So that's definitely on the radar for them. Another team that I like, but I'm gonna zag a little bit here and take Florida.
Yeah, to your point, Nick, I like one. They still have some of that championship DNA left from last year. A few guys coming back, and they know they've been here before. They can close out games late. And a second point that I think Hunter said this in the group chat earlier today. I think that's the best thing that could have happened to Florida was them getting beat in the SEC tournament and not running through it. Maybe a day or two extra rest, but that we just get that vibe sometimes in these conference tournaments that they matter, but they don't really matter in a sense. Depends on how you look at it. But that's just like awakening the beast in my mind. So I really like that for Florida. Like I think Hunter said that could be a really good thing that they lost in the SEC tournament. So, Hunter, who's your team? Who's your pick?
I'm going to go Michigan. I like Dusty May a lot, big Dusty May guy, not a Tommy Lloyd guy. But I liked Dusty May from his FAU days, getting that team to the Final Four, and was one literal shot away from playing for a national championship and getting stomped by UConn, regardless of the point here. But I like Yaxel. I'm going to mispronounce his name, but I really like him. I watched him play today, and I feel like they're a very versatile team. They can beat you at the perimeter, but they can also beat you down low. I also know that they have a injury to a player. Don't ask me his name because, like Jake said at the beginning, none of us are going to be able to know all the X's and O's. But I did hear the guys on CBS talking about how that could come back to bite them here down the stretch in the tournament, because health is a big thing, as we all know. Just like Duke's a little injured right now. Koa Pete, like, when is he going to come back for Arizona? But Florida, they're sitting there. It's like they're healthy. They didn't lose a single game in February. They were on an absolute tear. And I think both Florida and Michigan losing today, like Jake said, I said this earlier, that was some of the best thing that probably could have happened to them, because they don't feel inevitable. They know the loss, and now they're going into the tournament with just a bigger chip on their shoulder rather than just continuing to ride this high. Whereas Duke, I feel like Duke needed to win the ACC tournament because of the two starters being out due to injury, and that's a really good defensive team that the Blue Devils have this year. Probably the best defensive team John Shire's had since he's taken over for Coach K. But all these teams are very good. Very interested to see how UConn turns out. Lost to Marquette the last regular season game, a Marquette team that was way below 500. One of Shaka Smart's worst teams he's had at Marquette, and then losing yesterday by 20 to the Johnnies, who got robbed. But we'll get more into that a little bit later. Have we hit our ceiling? Nick, I'll start with you here first. Which one of these teams sticks out to you as far as like they're playing really good, or they've hit their spurts, and then whether it's due to injury like UNC and maybe even BYU, or was it just like a team like Nebraska and Tennessee kind of riding a high at the beginning of the year and then slowly tailing off, or Gonzaga, who every year they play in the WCC, they can't help who they play necessarily, but they kind of just coast through their schedule, and they're good for a good Sweet 16, and then everything after that's just cherries on top.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna, I guess, take the obvious one here and go with UNC. Obviously, haven't battled that Caleb Wilson, injury, which has been pretty detrimental to them. Like I think this is an example. Had a excellent moment beating Duke, super exciting game, and definitely a season highlight for them to hang their hat on. But I think, just for this year, it's too much to overcome. I believe they draw VCU in round one, which I think will be a challenging matchup, and I could definitely see them going out early. So, definitely have had some highs this season. Caleb Wilson, when he was healthy, was super, super awesome. But I think it's, probably run its course for this year, and maybe they'll prove me wrong. But that's my pick.
I'm going to go with BYU. I think I brought this team up a few weeks ago in the group chat. I'm going with the Mormons. I really like the freshman. I think he's going to be the first pick. And Nick, you probably know this more than me. AJ, how do you say his last name?
Debansa.
Debansa. Is that how you say his name?
Yeah.
He leads the country in points. The only thing that worries me with BYU and this team, like when they're going to go as far as this guy can take them. He plays like every minute. I think in their loss against Houston in the Big 12 tournament, he didn't come off the floor, and he's going to give you 38 to 40 minutes every game they play in. But what worries me about them is the help around him. And if they're a big 3-point shooting team, if they're not hitting their shots, the good looks they get with those guys that aren't AJ, then they're going to struggle. But that kid, when he's on the floor, like he can take over the game and like put the team on his back and carry them, and I think they can make a run. And I do like their draw. I think they play the winner of NC State and Texas in their potential second round matchup against Gonzaga, which I don't mind that at all. So I like their draw, and they're in that like bottom tier with where they would end up playing Purdue eventually. So I like their draw. I've liked them for the past few weeks. I like Kevin Young, their head coach. It'd be so fun if we got the Mormons on a little March run. That's great. We need that. So I'm going with BYU as my pick here.
So you're saying that you like BYU the most out of all these teams?
Yes.
Okay.
Was I supposed to go the opposite?
Yeah, like which team hit their you think has hit their ceiling?
Okay. I'm sorry.
Hey, no, this is good conversation.
I was confused too, so for what it's worth.
Tennessee and Rick Barnes. That's my pick. I feel like I get lured into Tennessee every year in the tournament. I see their name on the bracket, and Rick Barnes teams, for some reason, every year in the tournament, they can't score great. They always play great defense, but always let me down in the tournament offensively. I feel like that's been a theme over the past few years is his teams are just defense only, and they don't score in the tournament. So that's Tennessee for me.
I'm going to go with Nebraska here. They start 20-0, 21-0, something like that, 22, and then kind of coasted out here. Would they finish? I believe it was 26-6 is what's here on the paper. It's still a really good season. Never won a tournament game before, ever. So, but I think this has kind of run its course. They got a first round draw of Troy, and as somebody who watched Troy play in the Sun Belt Championship game and watched a lot of the Sun Belt tournament, Troy's a good team. Not going to necessarily pick the upset here, but I don't think Nebraska is probably bound for a second weekend here. I mean, they got to play the winner of Vandy and McNeese. So maybe if you get a 5-12 there and you escape Troy, maybe you can find your way to the Sweet 16. But I think just due to injury and the season kind of running its course, I don't think Nebraska is going to find itself too far into a tournament run. We can muck it up. And I just put this category on here as like, well, we're not a top 2 seed. Or what is Michigan State? Are they a 3? Are they a 2? Does anybody know?
They ended up on the 3 line, yeah.
Okay, so they did end up on the 3 line. So they're not and Purdue is a 2 seed, but I just, in my personal opinion, and I know Jake's going to have something on the Boilermakers in a little bit, but Purdue, they always seem to like get so close, but they just can't quite get onto the edge. And so, but these are teams I think can make potential Final Four runs, just make their way through the field and definitely find their way into the Elite Eight. Which one of these teams, and like it doesn't even have to be a team on the screen. If there's a team that y'all think of off the top of your head, please go for it on here. As you can see, I've got 4 Big 12 teams. I know Jake was talking about the Big 12 as a conference earlier with Kansas, Texas Tech, Iowa State, Houston. Got the Johnnies on here, and then 3 Big 10 teams. So the Big 10, I think, as a conference, had a really good basketball year this year with Illinois, Purdue, and Michigan State. Nick, I'll let you go first again here. Like, is there a team that's on the screen, or is there a team up here that you're like, you know what? If they get the things going and they get on a roll, they could find themselves like a few seconds away from playing for the Final Four.
Yeah, I'm going to cheat again here and take what I think is the easy one and go with our guys, the Houston Cougars. Obviously, a coach and a program that I think we all really, really like. And again, continue to go back to last year's team, a good bit of continuity from that squad that obviously played for a national championship. And I think the challenge with this team is, one, obviously super experienced, super well coached team, and they're a team you don't want to get behind, right? The Florida kind of defied the odds on that last year and obviously got down in that national championship game and was able to come back. But I think Houston, if you're down 7 or 8 points late in the second half, it feels like more than that, right? Because they're really able to slow the tempo down, play great defense. And again, they bring back much of that continuity and championship pedigree from last year's team, right? So I definitely will go with them. I think that's, I know I mentioned earlier, a potential game I would have my eye on would be that national championship rematch, potentially in the Elite Eight, Florida and Houston. That's definitely a potential game that I have my eye on and I'm super excited about. And I think you have to feel like certainly that Houston could go to the Final Four. And I think those top 4 teams we discussed, Florida, Michigan, Arizona, and I'm missing one, but one of the top teams are definitely maybe in a little bit of a different category than them. But you have to feel like if things align that they could, go to a Final Four and potentially win a national championship.
Yeah, and to your point, Nick, we talk about this all the time in every sport we all watch and talk about. Houston, one thing Kelvin Sampson has done, and it's every one of his teams, they just don't quit. They're never out of any game. If you're down, if we're watching a game, they're down 10 with 2 minutes, I'm not worried yet because they get after it. It's constant hustle. It's constant chaos on defense because they're constantly looking for tip balls. They're constantly diving on the floor and getting after it, and they play physical. The only thing that worries me that I think is a little different, and I've noticed this over the past few days of watching them, is they don't have that big size and meat that they used to on the interior like they did last year. I think last year it was Juwan Roberts was a big piece for them that we all liked. And that they had guys down low that were just big, physical. They don't have that necessarily, but they're athletic. They still get after it. And one thing with Houston too, if they're not knocking their shots down, big, heavy on hitting threes, like Sharp, he's a guy that likes to throw them up and sold in the national championship last year for us. But if they're not hot, that kind of worries me. But like I said, they don't quit. They can get down 10 to 15 points and they're never out of it. So I know that Houston will probably be the Chats. That'll be our pick, our group pick, because I would love nothing more for them to be right back in it for the next month. I'm going to throw this out there before I give my pick. I think Kansas is dead. I think they're going to be a first-round exit. I think Cal Baptist is beating them. And even if they do beat Cal Baptist, they play the Johnnies in the second round, and I think the Johnnies are going to run the floor with them in the second round. The reason for that, you just don't know what you're getting with Kansas. You never know. Night in and night out, you don't know what you're getting. Darren Peterson, he's either hurt, he might give you 10 great minutes where he looks like the best college basketball player, and then it's like, meh. And then he's talking crap to the coaches. He's not a good attitude. I think he's just a cancer to that team. I think he's going to be good, probably a great NBA player. No, don't get me wrong, but I just don't think the chemistry's there for Kansas. I think their second round exit. I think the furthest they go is the second round because Nick St. Johnny's they'll beat them by 20 points. I truly believe that. But my pick, and Hunter, you said it, like Purdue, it's every year they're eye candy, man. They look so good. And I've never really been a big Purdue guy, but they are I've watched every game. I saw the second half of the Big Ten championship today, but I watched each of their games were on while I was at work this week. And that starting five, very deep. All right. They have 4 seniors in that starting five, 1 sophomore, Braden Smith. Great point guard. He gets after it. He's kind of their leader. He facilitates the floor, gets after it on both ends of the floor. And then what I love about them is they play slow basketball. They can't really get in a track match, track meet. There you go. Can't really run, but Oscar Clough and Kaufman Wren on the inside, those guys, if they feed the ball down low every possession, slow things down, control the pace of the game, I think they can win any game they play in. And they proved it today. They beat Michigan. I'm probably going to have this team going to the Final Four. I'm going to throw that out there now. I really, really, really like them. Very experienced. I think Matt Painter's a good coach. And they've proved it to me over the past few days that they can close out games late. They can make free throws. And they're big guys. They don't really have much depth behind Kaufman Wren and Clough on the interior, but those guys stay out of foul trouble. And you don't really find them being in foul trouble late in games. So Purdue is a team I really like going into this tournament.
I'm
What do you
gonna
think, Colin? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Sparty here. I was going back and forth between Sparty and Illinois, but ultimately it just comes down to coach for me. I really like the way Jeremy Fears plays the game, even though he does like to kick people in the nuts like Draymond Green. So that's a problem. Needs to get that cleaned up. But I mean, it's just one of those teams that Izzo is going to find a way to get it done. I mean, this is the same coach that took down Duke with the Zion Williamson team and made the Final Four. And I just have a lot of faith in him, just like I do Rick Pitino. Like, that's the cop-out answer for me. You guys know I have a Johnny's problem, just like I have a Gonzaga problem. But I wanted to go do something different here. I'm going to go with Tom Izzo, and it simply just comes down to coach. Like Bill Self, great coach. I mean, y'all already hit on Kansas, Houston, so just trying to talk about different teams on here. Don't get me wrong, like I think the Johnnies got screwed, but with that 5 seed draw, I just don't like it as much as Michigan State getting that 3. So I'm going to go with Izzo, man. He always finds a way. I mean, made the Elite 8 last year, was in a track meet with Auburn, and ultimately came up short to that stacked team from last year. So I do like Izzo. Just like in March, man, the guy finds a way to get it done. Dark horses to make a run. Yeah, there's a team I left off this, and I'm Jake. I apologize ahead of time. I left Wisconsin off. I know you were hitting on the Badgers earlier, so if you would like to speak on them, now.
Yeah.
Now,
correct me if I'm wrong. So my pick based on the screen was going to be one of 2 teams. It's going to be Arkansas or Virginia. I really like Arkansas. Everybody is starting to learn about this kid, Darius Acuff. And I think Calipari's got a very, very athletic team that can run. They're athletic, very good. And you can blink and you might be down 20 points. They're a very, very, very dangerous team going to the tournament. And with that being said, going back to Wisconsin, correct me if I'm wrong, but those 2 will match up if both of them win, correct? Is that correct? Let me pull that up. Yes. So if they both win, they'll be match up. I hate that because I like both of those teams. But Wisconsin, I got a chance to watch them in the tournament. They got 2 guys, 2 really good guards. There's certain things you like to look for when you're looking at brackets, when you're doing your research before the tournament starts. And one thing that I like to look for is good guard play. I think everybody does. Nick Boyd and John Blackwell, 2 names to remember for Wisconsin. It's their 2 guards they have. Boyd is more of the point guard guy, and he is a left-handed kid, so he's a winner already. Very good facilitator, very good ball handler, and is liable to drop 30 at any given moment. Blackwell is the same way. Both of these guys can explode and give you a ton of points. So I like them to go on a run. And then for Arkansas, Wisconsin, Arkansas, that's a matchup in the second round that might be on like game of the year in the bracket watch. Like that was going to be an electric game. 2 really good squads. But as far as this page goes, I like Arkansas. Acuff is a guy, and he's on the floor. All bets are off. And he's only a freshman, right? And I think I had this pulled up. 3 tournament games. He went 37-5-5 against Oklahoma, 24-5-7 against Ole Miss, 33-11 against Vandy, and that's in 72 hours of basket. 3 games in 72 hours. I like this kid. I like the team. They're very athletic, like I said. Another team on this list I like, I'm just throwing out things. Virginia, very, very good squad. They're deep, and they have a good size. They have I don't know the guy's name, but he's a shot blocker. He's a lot like Cyril from Georgia, just with a way better attitude and doesn't get a technical foul every game. I like Virginia. I think Virginia is like the team outside of Duke in the ACC that I like, which is kind of obvious with how the ACC tournament played out. But I like Virginia a lot. So, Nick, what you got?
I'll definitely piggyback off Arkansas. I kind of agreeing on them. Obviously, Acuff has played super, super well. And again, another team kind of playing their best basketball at the right time, right? Went on kind of a little bit of an unexpected run, I would say, last year in March Madness, and now definitely looking to build upon that. Kind of another team on here that I like is UCLA. A little bit of a tougher. Sorry, too low, Hunter. What are you? I thought you were talking about my audio.
No. I was just doing the little Italian hand gesture because we're getting on that Calipari train.
There you go. No, But UCLA, definitely another team I like here. Sort of early in the season, Mick Cronin was not super happy with how this team was performing, and in a weird way, I think maybe it kind of galvanized them to play a little better down the stretch. Almost reminds me of kind of similarly with Pitino in the past with St. John's had some public outbursts in previous years about how he wasn't so happy with the team, and they sort of picked up. We've seen that work out not so great. Obviously, Kansas State and Jerome Tang, that was the end of him having one of those press conferences. But I think sometimes it's weird. It's good for the team in a little bit of a weird way. So played well of late. Obviously, a big win during their conference tournament, which I think definitely brings this team some confidence. And obviously, a talented team that had high hopes coming into the year. So I think when we talk about a team maybe a little bit lower seeded on the 7 line, they have what I think is a pretty winnable first round match against UCF, I believe, should win that game. And then I think from there, anything's possible. Definitely could see these guys going on a deeper run. So I'll pass it to Hunt from there.
Does anybody know what region off the top of their head UCLA's in?
The East.
Okay, I don't like them. But if they were playing in the West, no, this team plays really, really good on the West Coast. The East Coast to West Coast or the away games versus games on the West Coast for them were what is the word I'm looking for here? Like just one when they played on the West Coast, they were very good. When they played anywhere away from the West Coast, they did not play very well at all. But just to piggyback, Mick Cronin ejecting his own player from the game put this team on a tear, and they have been playing good basketball at the right time. I think they just ran into a buzzsaw in Purdue yesterday, but making it to the semifinals in the Big Ten tournament is huge for this team because about a month ago, I would have been like, dude, they might not even make the tournament with the way that they're playing basketball. So I like that pick a lot, Nick. The reason I threw Iowa on here is kind of like the AJ Banto thing because Bennett Sturts had one of the quietest, bizarre years in a long time. He came from Drake, and guy was shooting lights out, was Big Ten first-team All-American this year. And I feel like he's just one of those guys. Like, remember Jack Golke from Oakland? Like, dude, Bennett Sturts could 100% go out there and hit 16 threes and then, like, just carry his team to the Sweet 16. I wouldn't be surprised at all. And then Vandy, I watched them play yesterday. I mean, just boat race Florida by damn near 20 points. Just comes up just short in the SEC title game. But Mark Bennington, what he has done coming from JMU to Vandy is phenomenal. Vandy's an athletics school now. Everybody just better watch out because now they got nerds, money, and athletics. So I really like the way that those two guards play. They play fast. And, Nick, I know you watched them play against Florida yesterday too, and just how fast that they play and how they can knock down shots and draw fouls in the paint is huge.
Yeah, agreed. And to your point, I know you were saying it yesterday, Hunt. I haven't watched too much of Vandy, admittedly, throughout this year. But yesterday, I was taken aback by how many just quick, athletic guys they have, and they made Florida, who we've discussed, and I think we all think is a really good team who hasn't lost in months prior to yesterday. We're making them look silly. One play in particular late in the game, and I think Florida kind of maybe felt like they were dead at that point, but just a loose offensive rebound literally had a Vanderbilt player like come flying in through 4 Florida guys, maybe not doing their best job boxing out, but just came flying in and was fouled for an N1 and an offensive rebound. So really love kind of the effort I saw from them, and also just the amount of kind of quick athletic guys they have.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I forget the guy's name on Alabama. Is it
Philon?
Philon, yep. Him. Yeah. Who's to say he can't carry his team? Nate Oates has been to the Final Four before. That's just another reason I wanted to make sure we hit up on them. And as I know that we not the biggest Bama podcast out there in the world, but Nate Oates has made a Final Four before, and I just try to pick out those guys like Acuff and Bennett Sturts and the guy from Alabama who can just kind of put the team on their back and make a run. But all right, guys. Well, it's time to fill out a bracket. Is there anything else, players, other teams we didn't hit on? Please speak now, or we can just talk about them when we're filling them out.
I have a question to pose to y'all. We haven't really talked about any mid-major schools. I know that in reality, none of these smaller schools are going to get in and win the national championship, but you never know. They can always go on a run. We've seen it year in and year out. And it's fun. And I think now with like the NIL and the portal, like teams are starting to get it's starting to get really top heavy. Like, for instance, we were just talking about UCLA. A guy like on there, Donovan Dent, I believe he's battling some injury right now. He's been on New Mexico for like 4 years, and then transferred to a bigger school, and now he's with UCLA. So just you see stuff like that. So the mid majors, smaller schools, starting to not see them produce as much excitement in the tournament as years past, I feel like. But I wanted to see, like, if y'all had one team off the top of your head, and you don't have to like go on a crazy stint about it. Like, who is your one pick, your one team, your one little school that you like? I'll start. I love McNeese. I've talked about it. I watched them play in their conference championship game. If those guys are athletic, they play fast. They got dudes across the floor, and I cannot wait to watch. I'm going to be all over them. They're beating Vandy. That's my favorite play of the first round. So yeah, McNeese is the small school I'm rolling with. Hunter.
Yeah. I had 3 come to mind, and these will all be brief. The first one being Troy. I'm not necessarily picking them. Any of these teams pull off an upset off the top of my head. I'm gonna have to actually look at the bracket and everything else. But Troy, because I did watch them play, and like I know it's the Sun Belt and everything else, but you know we're trying to talk about some mid-major teams here. I was very impressed by the rebounding that they could do. Very good on the offensive glass, all tournament long and pretty much all season long too, and just play at such a slow pace. They are not like, if you get stuck playing at the pace that the Troy Trojans play, you better watch out because they can rebound and they can hit shots. They can run down that shot clock, and they find a way to get nitty gritty down there. So I like Troy a lot. I like Hawaii for obvious reasons. Everybody on this screen knows why we like Hawaii. And I heard the guys on CBS calling their star player the Big Fish. So like that a lot, but I do not think they'll beat Arkansas. And then lastly, I'm going to go with St. Louis. I've been on this train for like a month now. Y'all know this, but this team pretty much is the Indiana State team from 2 years ago who went on a freaking tear, came up just short against Drake in the conference championship in the Missouri Valley. Didn't get the at-large, didn't get that Miami, Ohio bump. Then this team all goes to St. Louis to follow their coach, Robbie Avila. He's been in the league for like 3 or 4 years, or in college for 3 or 4 years now. And he's a very good player. I know he plays the Dogs, y'all's alma mater, but I really do like that St. Louis team. But fun fact, you two know this, as soon as I mentioned St. Louis, I think they lost to Dayton twice and another 2 games after that, and they'd only had 1 loss all year, so might be a curse. Might be good for the Georgia Bulldogs to finally win a tournament game. Nicholas?
Yeah, well, let's hope so. I'm looking. That'd be nice to see Georgia win one. So I definitely hope you're wrong on that. Kind of a quick one, really only a vibes play. I don't think they'll win, but like Hofstra, cool story, man. I think it's a cool story. I think it's exciting. I don't anticipate they'll beat Alabama in round 1, but that's kind of a cool one. And then another team, maybe I'm cheating a little bit, and I know Jake likes them too. Santa Clara. I don't know if we're gonna call them mid-major, but I think it's a mid-major conference. Obviously on the 10 line, so a little bit more of a higher ranked team, but I like them, to be honest, in that first round matchup against Kentucky. I just think, they've been playing better basketball of late. Beat a really tough St. Mary's St. Mary's team, I should say, in the semifinal of the WCC tournament. And then obviously played Gonzaga pretty tough early in that one as well. So definitely keep an eye on them.
Yeah. So with all that being said, McNeese, Troy, Hofstra, all on the money line, plus 31,962. There's your first round dog parlay for the boys.
Or you could donate to a charity, which would be a nice
Yeah,
thing
you
to do.
could.
So
that could go towards your, that could go towards your 10% you're supposed to give to your local church.
There you go.
Or
There's
the
your
church.
tithing. So
Yeah.
very nice.
So, all right, fellas, let's fill out a dang bracket. Come on now. All right, we're gonna go region by region. I know it's probably hard for you guys to see on the screen. Does anybody have it pulled up like in front of them where they can read it off, or I can just read it off?
I have it in front of me if we need it.
Okay, Jake, I'll let you go first. We're just going to go region by region all the way to the Final Four, and we'll switch out, then we'll go over our Final Fours.
All right, so I'm going to go Duke at the top, and then I'm going to go – this one is a tough one. I feel like the 8-9 matchups are always tough.
I agree.
I will hand up here. I've not watched a single game of TCU basketball. I did watch Ohio State, and I think they're playing their best basketball at the right time. So Ohio State. Then I'm going to go St. John's, Cal Baptist. Hunter, are you filling this out? You are?
Yes, I am. Sorry, I was putting my glasses
You're
on.
good. Cal Baptist, and then I'm going to go Louisville, Michigan, UCLA, and UConn. And then second, or we'll keep going. You can keep going down.
Okay.
Florida, Clemson, McNeese, Amir Khan, baby, he's coming.
Or
I'm going to go Troy, and then VCU. North Carolina's dead. Illinois, subject change there. St. Mary's, Houston, and then top right, Arizona, Utah State, Wisconsin, Arkansas, BYU, NC State's beating Texas. I love that. Darren Williams, former Texas Tech guy, great player. Gonzaga. This is a tough one. I'm gonna go with Miami. I like them. When they played,
that's a tough one
Virginia.
for sure.
I like them. I watched them play in the AC tournament. Purdue, Michigan, St. Louis.
Whoa.
I'm telling you, it's so obvious. I hate this, but I think Akron might beat Texas Tech.
It would be so funny if Akron won and Miami, Ohio lost.
Yeah, just go Texas Tech. Texas Tech. Bama. Tennessee. Virginia. Santa Clara. Iowa State. And then you can stay down there. Give me Iowa State, Virginia, Bama, Michigan, and then Purdue, BYU.
Dude, this is the one.
I'm telling you, this is the matchup of March right here. Damn, this is hard. I'm going to go against popular belief. Wisconsin. Give me the Badgers. Arizona. All right. Duke. The Johnnies. Louisville. Oh, this is a tough one.
Oh gosh, what a game!
This is another good matchup. Give me UConn.
Two blue bloods just going at it.
I want to take Clemson. Florida.
Don't do that.
McNeese. VCU.
Woo!
Houston. And then stay right there. Houston.
Florida. For the love of God.
Game of the year, man. I can't wait.
UConn. The Patino family. Arizona.
Purdue.
Michigan.
Ooh, they own them in football and basketball.
Virginia. And
All
then
right.
this is my Final Four, correct?
Yeah.
This is my Elite Eight.
This is your Elite Eight.
Yeah. Virginia.
Woo.
Houston.
St. John's, UConn, Part 3 or 4.
This is
Four.
cinema.
4.
UConn.
Yeah, I agree. And then your two darlings. Which one are you going to choose?
Yeah, this is tough. I'll go Arizona.
All right.
And then Arizona and the Cougars. with Arizona win the national championship.
They just own Houston. Wow. Jake Stinchcomb going Arizona over Houston
Yeah.
in the national championship. What a
Yeah, I
day.
like that. Can you scroll back up to my Final Four? I love that. I like that Final Four. I don't think a lot of people think it's going to be all ones like it was last year. I don't think we get that again. I don't know. I think there's some twos like UConn, Houston. Like I think they're liable to like knock off a one this year. So we'll see. I'm excited.
All right, Jake. I don't know if you wrote any of that down, but I'm about to erase it all. And I can just clip out the recording and send it to you if you want to have like just a first instant bracket.
All right, sounds good.
Because it wouldn't let me open up like 3 at the same time. So, all right, Nicholas Pachia. You can go region by region, or you can do it the way Jake did it, up and down. It doesn't matter to me. So, whenever you're ready.
Yeah, let's just do it the way Jake did. Whatever's easier for you, Scrollin. You let me
Oh,
know.
it don't matter. You just tell me, brother.
All right, we'll do Duke over Siena. I actually have a good friend who played baseball at Siena. That's my fun fact of Siena College, but not picking them in this game. We'll go TCU over Ohio State. Give me the Johnnies, and I'll take Kansas. I'll stick with them here. Give me Louisville. I think it'll be a competitive game, but I'll take them. Give me Michigan State, UCLA, UConn. So I'm going all chalk in this region to start first round. So I guess going down, we'll go Florida. I'll take Iowa in that one. Go off the board a little bit. Take Vandy. I like the Troy pick. I agree, Jake. I like that one a lot. Go VCU over North Carolina. I think they're dead as well. Illinois. Give me St. Mary's, and then give me the Cougars, of course. We'll go with them. So moving to the other side of the bracket. Give me Zona over LIU. Good story also. Local
The
guys.
Sharks.
It's great. All 12 alumni are
Fins
are
up,
fans of
baby.
it, but yeah. No, it's great. It's awesome. I love it, man. That's why sports are great. They're looking forward to it. You know, they'll be watching. Give me Nova. I don't know. I know Utah State's going to be a popular pick here, but we'll go with my man Williard in that one. Wisconsin High Point. Give me Wisconsin. I would almost think about picking against them here. Not going to do it.
Take the over. Take the over. in this game.
For real.
These two teams are going to shoot the freaking net off the rim. It's going to be electric 5-12 matchup.
No, for real. I agree. That'll be a high scoring one. I'll take Arkansas over the Rainbow Warriors, our favorites, but you got to take them. Maybe Hunter. Somebody's got to pick them. BYU. I'm gonna go off the board a little bit here. I'm gonna take NC State. Well, this is subject to change if they lose that first 4 game, but I like NC State. Our guy Will Wade. Give me the Zags over Kennesaw. Your local guys. I'll take Missouri here. I believe this game is in St. Louis. I could be wrong, but I think this game is in St.
It's
Louis.
in St.
So
Louis.
maybe a little bit of a favorable home crowd. I think Vandy benefited from that a little bit in the SEC tournament, so we'll go with them. Take Purdue over Queens. Give me Michigan. Give me the Dogs reluctantly. Stick with them. I think I do like Akron in this game. I know we love Texas Tech, but go against them. Give me Bama over my guys, Hofstra. I'll take the Vols. I'll take the Cavaliers as well. Go chalk in these two. Santa Clara I like, and then give me the Cyclones in the 215. Cool. So I guess
we'll stay down here.
Yeah, staying here. This is I always the 2-10 and the 2-7 games. I always want to pick a little upset. I'll stick with the Cyclones here, but I think Santa Clara could keep it close. Virginia, Tennessee. Give me Virginia.
What a game!
Yeah,
that's gonna be a defensive battle.
And just when expectations are lowest for Tennessee, who knows? Rick Barnes, obviously a great coach. And give me chalk in these 2 games. We'll take Roll Tide, and we'll take Michigan as well. Up here, stick Purdue. We'll stick Purdue, and we'll go Gonzaga as well. So super chalky so far. And then give me again chalk Arizona and the Razorbacks. And then moving to the other side, give me Duke. Give me the Johnnies over. This will be a compelling game though. St. John's and Kansas for sure. Louisville, Michigan State. I think I like Louisville as well. Jake, I believe you picked them also. And then this is my upset. We'll go UCLA. I think I like them in this game. I don't know. The different UConn team this year. Vibes are a little bit maybe not as good. Another maybe competitive one, but give me Florida in this game. And then give me Vanderbilt. So that sets up a maybe not so good rematch for the Gators. I'll go VCU as well. I'm gonna take your Sweet 16 pick here, Jake. Go VCU, and then give me the Cougars also in this matchup. So moving through.
Sorry.
No, you're good. Yeah, you already know. Give me Houston in this game. Like Houston a lot. This one we've seen they can lose it, but give me the Gators to bounce back in the rematch. Maybe game plan a little better for Vandy at a neutral site. Duke St. John's, that's a super compelling game. I'm gonna take Duke. I'm not gonna be as ballsy as Jake here. We'll stick with Duke and give me UCLA to go to the Elite Eight.
Some blue bloods.
Yeah, man, that's true. It's a big one. I'm gonna go crazy here. I'm gonna take Arkansas. This is another big upset pick, but we'll take the Razorbacks. And then Gonzaga, Purdue. I'm gonna go with Purdue in this one. We'll take Purdue. Go Michigan, and then I think I like the Cavs as well. Give me I guess a small upset here, Virginia. So this is a big one, Houston and Florida. This is a game I'm super, I know I mentioned before, super excited about. I'm gonna stick with my guys and take Houston. I know I picked Houston wasn't on the screen in that top tier team, so I have a little bit of an out here. I'll go with them, and then I'll take Michigan to go to the Final Four.
I don't know basketball, so come at me. Sorry, didn't have them on there. Just kind of threw it together 30 minutes before we came on here.
No. I'm just defending myself if anybody says I didn't pick them on the. I picked Florida, but we'll go Houston. Again, I think this is now. I just would be crazy to take UCLA this far, so we'll go Duke and then give me Arkansas to go to the Final Four. This is my team. I think I love it. And then again, now I'm looking at this and it's just teams I really like, obviously. Give me Houston. I mean, again, this is back-to-back rematches of huge games from last year. Duke and Houston, Florida, Houston, Michigan, Arkansas, man. Give me the Razorbacks. This is our first look at it, but that's my huge one. And then give me the Cougars. So this is, my obviously very biased first look at this bracket. But I would love
an awesome national championship, man. That's great. I love that matchup.
Yeah, I would love it.
That's like legendary coaches.
No, for real. 2 legendary coaches, a compelling storyline, and I don't know. So yeah, in my fantasy world, that's what happens. But we'll see.
I hear you.
I like it.
All right. I'm gonna go region by region. Actually, I guess to keep it consistent, I'll do it the same way you guys did. I'm gonna go Duke here. I'm gonna take Ohio State. I like the way they just kind of. There was this big conjunction, and they were on that bubble for a while. And then they were the only team to really take the bubble by the reins. It's like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to win games, and I'm going to get myself off the bubble and work their way from an 11 to an 8 in just like 2.5 weeks' time. Going to take the Buckeyes here. Going to roll with the Johnnies getting screwed. The last 5 seed, I don't know how you do that to the Big East regular season and tournament champ, but it is what it is. Give me Kansas here. I'll take Bill Self to at least get one. I'm going to go with the upset here. I'm going to take South Florida. I really like the athleticism that I've seen. They played Wichita State today. Louisville's got a few good players and coming out of the ACC, but I don't know if enough people are talking about South Florida and how fast they can run the floor. I'm going to take Michigan State and Tom Izzo, and I'm going to take UCLA and UConn. Chalk there. Moving down, I'm going to go Florida. I'm going to take Bennett, Sturts, and Iowa to at least get one. Give me Vandy. I love Mark Bennington, the way that they've played. And, well, I was going to take Troy, but you both took Troy, so I'm going to take Nebraska there. Going down, I'm going to take UNC. I think they can get at least one done, but VCU out of the A-10 is a very solid team. Subject to change. That one's definitely going in pencil. Illinois, I'm going to go A&M here. I think this is where the depth of playing in the SEC versus playing in the WCC kind of catches up to St. Mary's. I know that they played Vandy to start the year last year or in the tournament, and I'm pretty sure St. Mary's won, so getting another SEC draw round 1. But I'm gonna just be my SEC bias self and roll with the Aggies, and then give me Houston for an in-state matchup in the second round. I'm gonna take Arizona. Does anybody have the betting odds pulled up? Can I get a number on UNLV, or not UNLV, Villanova versus Utah State, please?
I think Utah State's favored. Yeah, Utah State's favored by 2.5.
I'm gonna go with the Aggies. Take the over, but I'm gonna roll with the Badgers. When they shoot and when they're on, they are on. They're hard to stop. I'm gonna roll with the Razorbacks here. Sorry, Obama, not taking Hawaii. I'm gonna go with BYU over the winner of this Texas NC State game. NC State not playing too well down the stretch, but hard to fade Will Wade in March. That's subject to change depending on the vibes of that first 4 game between the Wolfpack and the Longhorns. I'm going to take Mark Few and the Zags. I am going to take Mizzou in this game, not because it's SEC bias, but because of where this game is being played. And then give me the Boilermakers over Queens. Give me Michigan, and then I'm going to take St. Louis over Georgia and take Robbie Avila there. Man, I want to take Akron so bad. Did either one of you take Akron? I think you both rolled with Texas Tech.
I did. I took Akron too.
You took Akron?
Yeah.
I'm going to take Texas Tech. I was going to be the lone wolf, but I'm going to let that be yours, Nick. Give me Bama. Give me Tennessee over SMU. That's going to be a bloodbath in the first 4. And then give me Virginia over Wright State. I'm going to be the lone wolf here and take Kentucky, and I'm going to take Iowa State. And then give me the Cyclones over the Wildcats. I'm going to take Rick Barnes and get past Virginia. I'm going to take Alabama to get past Texas Tech. That's actually a pretty intriguing game right there, that 4-5 between Texas Tech and Alabama. I'm gonna switch up. I'm gonna take the Red Raiders, and then give me Michigan over St. Louis. Give me Purdue over Mizzou. Give me Gonzaga over BYU. I think that defense is just going to be too much for the Cougars. Nick, I know you rode Arkansas. Jake, what'd you do in this game? I know you had a tough time.
I figured y'all would take Arkansas, so I took Wisconsin, but that's probably going to end up being Arkansas. Yeah.
I'll ride with Calipari on this one, and then I'll take Arizona. Duke, St. John's, Michigan State, and UConn. Give me Florida over Iowa. Give me Vandy over Nebraska. I'm going to take Illinois over UNC, and I'm going to take Houston over A&M in the in-state matchup. Staying down here in the bottom left, I'm going to take Houston over Illinois, even though talk about holy defense versus holy offense, that would be whoever plays it, whoever controls the pace is going to win that game. So that'd be a very intriguing game if it turns out that way. And then I'm going to take the Gators getting revenge on the Commodores, taking on Houston in the Elite Eight. Give me Tom Izzo over Danny Hurley, and then give me St. John's setting up the Italian Elite Eight for a Final Four spot between Izzo and Patino. Give me Arizona over Arkansas. Just vibes. I think Arkansas is going to be a popular pick, and I wouldn't be surprised if Arkansas did make the Elite Eight, but I think this is where it comes to an end. I really like this Arizona team. And then I'm going to take Gonzaga and Mark Few over Purdue. Give me Dusty May and Michigan over Texas Tech, and give me the Cyclones over the Vols. So now we have a Florida-Houston National Championship rematch. I'm going to take the Gators. I'm going to take Dusty May to get to the Final Four again over TJ Osselberger and the Cyclones. And I'm going to take St. John's to get past Michigan State. And I'm going to take Gonzaga to get past Arizona, setting up Michigan versus Florida in the national championship. And I'm going to take Michigan and Dusty May to cut down the nets.
I like it. I feel
Shout
like
out
we're
to-
not talking about them enough. I think that's a good pick, Hunt.
I just like them, and both of these teams we talked about at the very beginning of the show. They both lost their conference championships, and well, I guess Florida lost in the semifinals, but they were both on tears, and I think they both are about to make massive runs here. So I do like Michigan and Dusty May getting his first natty.
Good stuff.
I like it. 3 different picks, man, all across the board.
Yeah.
So it's very
And
cool.
it's all subject to change. I'm sure we're going to go back and
Yeah,
forth.
it's probably
until-
all going to change. Yeah.
Yeah. Wednesday night is what? That's the first 4 game, correct? I believe.
Tuesday.
Might be. Yeah. First one Tuesday.
It is Tuesday. There's 2 on
It's
Tuesday.
Tuesday to Wednesday. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
NC State, Texas, man. That'll be a good one. Looking forward
Yeah,
to
that's
it.
a good matchup. I like that.
I'll take the Wolfpack.
Yeah.
I agree.
I'm not a Sean Miller guy. Didn't think that was a good hire for Texas. But anyways, any last thoughts heading into the madness?
I was gonna say, Hunt. I mean, we'll probably get if you want to post something on the socials. We need a graphic that we need the pod 129 first round play. So if each of y'all could spit out your favorite play off the rip, and I have the odds pulled up, and we can get a number on it. I will go first. I have McNeese plus 11.5.
Give me Santa Clara. I think it's 3.5. I want to say it might be 2.5 now. I saw it moving, but I like that. I say they win outright. So keep the points. They win the game outright.
I'm sorry, guys. I've not looked at odds. I'm scrolling through on FanDuel right now. I'll take gosh. Sorry, this is you kind of caught me off guard, Jake, but I'm
No, you're good. Good. Troy, 13.5 point 2 touchdown underdog.
Give me Iowa money line.
Ooh,
I like it.
I like it.
What is that? What's the number on that?
Well,
All right,
my-
so we have McNeese plus 11.5, Santa Clara at plus 124. They're still 3.5 point dogs, and then Iowa is minus 142 on the money line. That gives us plus 628 for a first round pick. We can get that up on the socials, Hunter.
Yeah, we can.
So yeah, that's our first round play. I like it.
Yeah,
We're
no,
five
I
days
mean,
away. 5 days away, but we already got it locked in.
I love it. I got
Hey.
to dabble now. That's it.
all right. Anything else, fellas? I'm sure I know we're going to be chatting up. We have a big war game coming up here in the next 13 minutes.
Biggest game of our life.
This is
I mean,
this is the biggest game of our lifetimes.
Yeah.
So Paul Skeen's on the bump for the United States. Got to go get locked in for that. Your boy Hunt needs it. Okay. As somebody who is retired and decided to step out of the retirement home for 1 pick and 1 pick only for the month of March or for the month. Well, I'm just going to report everything I said. I just really need the United States to win this game tonight.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough. I think we need 6 out of Skeens for me to feel good about it. If he could go 7, that's great. But
Me
we'll see.
too. We'll see. All right, fellas. Well, it's March. One shining moment for the rest of the world. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
All
Thank
right.
you, Nick, for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thanks again for having me, boys. Always good talking ball, and looking forward to seeing how weekend number 1 goes.
Yes, sir. Can we be back after weekend number 1? Can the 3 of us get together?
Let's do it,
We
man.
could do if we can't even make the first weekend thing, like we could go after 64 and 32, do a Sweet 16 and on, and kind of recap. Maybe that'd be good.
Yeah, let's do that.
Which I guess that's going to happen this weekend.
Yeah, that's what we meant
Yeah.
by the first weekend.
Yeah, I apologize. My bad.
It's all good. It's all good, dude. So, all right, fellas. Jake, you can do your little thing. God first, God bless. We appreciate you guys.
All right, Nick, anything else?
No, just
You
thanks
good?
again, boys. Appreciate you having me.
All right, that was our podcast 129 March Madness preview. First one ever. We'll see you back next weekend.